All right, it's official. No more Unk vibes at the worldwide leader in sports. ESPN has cut ties with former NFL tight end turned media personality Shannon Sharpe after the Hall of Famer settled a $50 million lawsuit accusing him of.
You know when someone seems untouchable, like they've built their entire brand on charm, charisma, and success, and then suddenly it all comes crashing down. That's exactly what just happened with Shannon Sharpe. ESPN has cut ties with him right after he settled a $50 million lawsuit that accused him of sexual assault. But here's the thing, this isn't just about one lawsuit. Katt Williams literally sat on Shannon's own couch and told him this was coming. Monique tried to warn him too, and now, looking back, both of them sound less like comedians and more like prophets. It's official. ESPN and Shannon Sharpe are done. The network, owned by Disney, decided the risk was just too high after he agreed to a massive settlement. Less than 2 years ago, Shannon was at the top of his media career, hosting First Take, running a viral podcast, and reinventing himself as the internet's Unk. Now he's out of a job, tens of millions poorer, and his reputation is in pieces. The shocking part, people tried to save him. Katt Williams, Monique, and even fans saw this disaster coming before Shannon did. Back in January 2024, Katt Williams gave one of the most viral interviews ever on Club Shay Shay. He sat across from Shannon, sipping cognac, and dropped a bombshell. White women scared him, not because of dislike, but because of what happens to powerful black men who date them. Katt put it bluntly, referencing actor Jonathan Majors. You could be Kang the Conqueror, and they could take your rabbit down in 2 weekends.
But I'm not gonna act like I'm not scared of them. I have a reason to be scared. You could be Kang the Conqueror, and they could take your rabbit ass down in 2 weekends.
Majors had just been on top of the world, starring in Marvel movies, until a domestic violence case with a white woman completely tanked his career. Katt wasn't being dramatic. He was spelling out a pattern. And Shannon, he laughed. He treated it like entertainment instead of the survival guide it was. What makes this worse is that Shannon admitted during that interview that Katt was teaching him things about Hollywood he didn't know. He even said, "I did not know. You're telling me and showing me a side of the business that I didn't know."
I did not know. You're telling me and showing me a side of the business that I didn't know.
But when the warning got personal, when it hit too close to home, he brushed it off. He didn't want to believe it could happen to him. And less than 2 years later, it did, almost exactly the way Katt described. Then came February 2024. Monique took the same seat on Club Shay Shay and didn't sugarcoat a thing. She looked Shannon in the eye and told him straight, "You don't need no 26-year-old girl. You don't need no 36-year-old girl. This is your auntie talking to you.
You don't need no 26-year-old girl. You don't need no 36-year-old girl. This is your auntie talking to me."
She warned him about chasing younger women, saying it wasn't just a dating choice. It was a setup for heartbreak, lawsuits, and disaster. Monique wasn't joking when she told him he needed a woman who could bake cakes and rub his feet. She was giving him a formula for stability and love that wasn't going to land him in legal trouble. But her warning went deeper. She broke down how age gap relationships turn toxic. Imagine a man pushing 60 trying to keep up with someone in their 20s. The energy, the expectations, the lifestyle, it doesn't add up. She explained how that mismatch leads to frustration, arguments, and eventually the kind of chaos that lands in court filings. Her words were almost haunting. These young girls will bite you.
These young gals will bite you. Okay?
Yeah. Okay, guess I gotta come on home.
Come on home, Shannon.
And Shannon? He chuckled. He played along, but he didn't take it seriously. Fast forward to April 2025. A 20-year-old OnlyFans model named Gabriella Zuniga filed a lawsuit against Shannon Sharpe, demanding $50 million. The accusations were devastating. She claimed Shannon raped her twice, once in October 2024 and again in January 2025. She alleged he recorded their sex without her consent, choked her, hit her, and even threatened her life. The details made headlines worldwide. Zuniga was just 20 when the relationship began. Shannon was 56. That wasn't just an age gap, it was a generational chasm. Her lawyer, Tony Busby, filed the lawsuit, painting a picture of control and intimidation. Meanwhile, Shannon's team fought back, saying it was consensual and part of a role-play dynamic. His lawyer, Lanny J. Davis, pointed to explicit messages from Zuniga as proof. Still, the lawsuit exposed everything Katt and Monique had warned him about: a young white woman, a toxic relationship, allegations that destroyed a carefully crafted public image. Things got even messier when Busby revealed he had video evidence. Shannon refused to watch it. Legal experts said he wanted what's called plausible deniability. Most innocent people would want to see what evidence existed against them. But Shannon avoided it. In public, he sounded confident. He challenged Busby, saying, "That video should actually be 10 minutes or so. Hey Tony, instead of releasing your edit, put the whole video out." But behind the scenes, even his own lawyers didn't want him to see it. That suggested the footage might not back up his words as strongly as he claimed. The contradiction was glaring: confident in front of cameras, cautious in private. By July 18, 2025, Shannon wanted it gone. Tony Busby announced a settlement, saying, "All matters have now been addressed satisfactorily and the matter is closed." The case was dismissed with prejudice, meaning Zuniga can't file it again in the same court. Insiders whispered the settlement could have been as high as $23 million. Zuniga retired from OnlyFans shortly after, and on social media, she even posted Bible verses about being delivered from enemies. Shannon, meanwhile, had lost more than money. His career was spiraling. 2 weeks later, ESPN officially cut ties. Shannon asked them to wait until after his brother Sterling's Hall of Fame induction. ESPN refused. The timing meant Shannon's firing overshadowed Sterling's big moment. On his podcast, Shannon admitted, "I wish this thing could have waited until Monday because I hate the fact that I've overshadowed my brother." But for ESPN, the choice was simple. Disney couldn't risk keeping a personality tied to allegations of sexual assault, even with a settlement. The Shannon Sharpe era at ESPN was over. Here's the twist. After the settlement, Monique came back into the picture, but this time not as a critic, as a defender. On Instagram Live, she called Shannon her brother. She said, "We've all not walked the perfect line. We've all had mistakes. We've all taken a fall. We've all had to get up and get to going again." When someone heckled her during a show, trying to drag Shannon, she shut it down instantly. "Bitch, no you won't do that. No you will not do that. No ma'am," she said on stage. It was a dramatic turnaround. Monique had once warned him not to chase young women, even white women, but now she was standing by him in public. Fans, however, weren't as forgiving. Social media lit up with comments saying his downfall was inevitable. Some said he played stupid games and he won stupid prizes. Others pointed out Monique literally predicted this exact outcome, and many couldn't believe Shannon risked his wealth, his career, and his reputation over a relationship with someone younger than his children. For them, this wasn't a shocking twist. It was the natural ending to a story they saw coming. It's wild to think that before all this, Shannon was building an empire. Club Shay Shay exploded after the Katt Williams interview, pulling over 88 million views. Megan Thee Stallion, Kamala Harris, John Legend, Steve Harvey, Fat Joe, big names sat on his couch. He was closing in on a podcast deal rumored to be worth $100 million. YouTube even partnered with him after Katt's episode went viral. He also ran Nightcap with Chad Ochocinco Johnson, which kept pulling big audiences. But now, all of that is in jeopardy. Deals don't look the same when you're fighting off lawsuits and losing your ESPN platform. This is where the tragedy really hits. Shannon had everything: Super Bowls, Hall of Fame status, media respect, podcast clout, money, influence, and he lost it all because he ignored the people trying to protect him. Katt told him white women could end his career. Monique told him to stop chasing younger women. Fans pointed out the risks, but Shannon thought he was untouchable. Now he's unemployed, financially bruised, and the world is asking who Shannon Sharpe really is when the cameras are off. On TV, Shannon looked confident, witty, and in control. But behind the scenes, the lawsuit revealed someone completely different. Reckless, vulnerable to scandal, and blind to the dangers right in front of him. The Instagram Live slip-up months earlier, when he accidentally streamed a private moment, should have been a red flag. Instead, he laughed it off, called Disney executives to apologize, and moved on like nothing happened. It all painted a picture of a man living on the edge, thinking he was above the rules that applied to everyone else. And that brings us here, to Shannon Sharpe's downfall that feels less like a surprise and more like a prophecy fulfilled. Katt Williams saw it, Monique saw it, fans saw it. Everyone around him tried to wave the warning signs, but Shannon kept pushing forward, ignoring the advice that could have saved him. Now, he's out of ESPN. His fortune is leaking away in settlements, and his reputation may never recover. Katt Williams said it best on that couch. You could be Kang the Conqueror, and they could take your rabbit down in 2 weekends. And for Shannon Sharpe, that's exactly what happened.